All right, everyone. If you hear some sound interference in the background, that is the AC because it's approaching 100 degrees today. There's a bit of a heat wave, and I'm from Vermont. We almost never see three-digit temperatures in my state. I know what some of you may saying, if you're from the South, well, that's just normal. It's for up here, it's pretty hot, and also the humidity is high at the moment, so. Yeah, I'd be sweating to the oldies if I didn't have that on. Anyway, we have to talk about the B-2 bomber strategy in Iran. Apparently, there was a 37-hour flight by a goddamn legion of B-2s that dropped the bunker busters. Mother of all bombs were dropped and so forth, and hitting three targets in Iran from the United States. This was a stealth strategy, effectively. Apparently, Tomahawk missiles were also launched, and those fly close to the ground, so they're not going to get detected, and there's no way for Iran to defend against them. While I oppose war, and I really, really hope that this does not become a mission accomplished moment, and that it doesn't lead to any wider escalation, at the same time, it was a successful operation. And I wanted to draw a contrast. Look at the Biden administration or the Bush-Obama administrations and the kind of things that they did. Most of it was vastly unsuccessful. Whereas the Trump administration, at the very least, even if you oppose, and I do, what was actually done in Iran, at the very least, it did come out well. There were no American casualties. There was no effective retaliation available for the Iranians. I don't believe in randomly bombing other countries. Yes, even if they're trying to build a nuclear weapon. But that being said, at the very least, again, silver lining on a dark cloud, I suppose, you have a situation where it worked. The strategy was actually effective, which is more than we can say for the last three administrations, particularly, other than Trump's first term. In his first term, he didn't do anything. I worry, though, about the possibility of a wider conflict. I worry that Iran now is going to haul off. I'm hoping that negotiation will break out. That's my hope. And thankfully, it is also my expectation. The United States has just shown the Iranian regime that we're capable of hitting you and there's really nothing you can do about it. You should probably come to the bargaining table. That's the good news. Again, the bad news is they might say, screw you, smoke you, and they might decide to haul off or something like that. Thankfully, they can't do much to the United States proper. Unfortunately, they are capable of closing the Strait of Hormuz. It was pointed out by a subscriber literally the other day. The last time they tried to do this, the United States decimated their naval capabilities. I would assume that the same thing probably would happen now. The U.S. Navy is far larger and far more sophisticated than anything that the Iranians are fielding. A handful of, I believe, destroyers, some submarines, and so forth. Again, then you have another problem. The other problem is, what if the U.S. Navy goes in to clear the Strait of Hormuz and one of our ships gets tanked? That would be a problem for logistic purposes, number one, and certainly for optical purposes, number two. It would be a humiliation to the Trump administration. Given the effectiveness of this particular targeted strike, I think that the Trump administration can probably handle it, but there's always that margin of error. There's always that little problem that could arise. Like, let's say a couple of Iranian ships managed to land some hits on a U.S. aircraft carrier. It sinks into the ocean, killing everyone aboard probably. Well, that's not going to look very good in the newspapers now, is it? Also, you've just lost a bunch of younglings, young lives. That's not a great idea, I think. So my hope is that negotiations involve the U.S., clears the Strait of Hormuz without military action, and basically everything goes back to normal, effectively. The U.S. should probably pressure Iran and Israel, by the way, on this issue, and say, look, guys, knock it off. That would be the best of all possible outcomes. You knock it off, open the strait, let the gas and oil flow through, and things go back to normal, generally speaking. Of course, we've still got the issue of the Houthis firing anti-ship missiles and stuff like that, and ordnance at our flagged vessels. We've still got the issue of the occupation of Gaza, which has been literally declared by Israel. They're not even pretending anymore. Yeah, we control Gaza. It's ours. We're taking it back. Wonderful. Again, that's not going to inflame tensions within the region or anything like that. This has been an ongoing struggle for decades and decades, and there's just this iteration of the struggle. Technically speaking, the Levant region and into, parts of Asia, Persia and so forth, technically speaking, the war has been ongoing for thousands of years. It has never ceased. Europe finally decided, these are our borders. We're not going to fight anymore. Now we're all partners and allies. That's great. Unfortunately, this particular region has not followed what would be conceived of as the New World model with regards to diplomacy or politics in general. You've just had Syria destabilized. Assad gets forced out after a brief civil war. You've got problems in Lebanon, certainly. You've certainly got problems in Palestine and Israel, and now Iran is involved. This shows all the signs of a potential regional war. The problem being that some of these nations are close allies of the Eastern Bloc. Iran, certainly one of Russia's key partners, although they're distracted at the moment. And of course, you've got Israel in the mix, a nuclear power. So you've got various problems diplomatically with regards to this region that we haven't had to cope with before. And my hope is that peace breaks out. My expectation is that I think Donald Trump can keep the U.S. out of the melee, but I'm now expecting that there will be a regional war within the region, a lasting one that takes potentially millions of lives. I'm actually expecting that. I don't think, regardless of the United States being on the front page with Iran and Israel and these other nations, that necessarily means that they won't stop targeting one another. It's rather unfortunate for the civilians. The townspeople are the ones who will pay. That's about all. Peace out.